All right, and we are live from Madison Oglethorpe Animal Shelter. And this is Laura. We're just going to wait as more people sign in.
But in the meantime, this is Rain.
We have one viewer.
Woohoo!
We have two,
Oh,
three,
yay!
4,
You guys are awesome.
5. Thank you all for signing in. Six,
All right, I'll just go ahead with the introduction.
9.
So thank you guys for so much for joining us. Am I looking at the camera right?
Mhm.
Okay. My name is Lorah Patman. I'm the shelter manager here at the Madison Overcrowded Animal Shelter. I have been here at the shelter for 7 going on 8 years. They call me the cat whisperer, the feral cat whisperer, the crazy cat lady. I like cats and dogs both equally, but I just kind of gravitate more towards the cats, kind of understand them a little better. So if anybody has a question about cats, they usually come to me. I'm not claiming to be an expert. By no means am I an expert. But I'm just here today to kind of answer a few questions that anybody may have. With kitten season quickly approaching, it could be a little hectic, So if anybody has any questions, feel free to type them in. I'll be glad to answer them. I've got a few questions that people have already sent in that I'm going to answer. So I'm just going to jump right in. First of all, this is Rain. He is available for adoption here.
Debbie says he is a beautiful cat.
Yes, he is. He is an extremely beautiful, loving floof ball, which is why I chose him to come in here with me today. I love all of them, so we are at the end of Spayed neuter month. March begins next week, and that means kitten season is just around the corner. Kitten season happens every year in the spring. It really depends on the time and the climate. We've had a very, very mild winter, along with COVID limiting spay and neuters at clinics and vet offices. The prediction for a very large kitten season is imminent. Basically, just to give you a definition of kitten season, it's kind of self-explanatory, but kitten season is basically when every female cat that has gone in the heat and has gotten pregnant wants to have their babies. That's just simply put in a nutshell. And a lot of times, unfortunately, these are stray cats that they don't have any owners. So, of course, obviously they haven't been fixed. And they'll have babies in somebody's barn, somebody's car engine, and I've seen that happen. Under their porch, under the house, you name it. A mama cat's going to find a good hidey hole to have her babies. And unfortunately, homeowners will find them, and a lot of them can't stay. So what that means is shelters, not just us, but shelters everywhere, will see an influx of mama kittens and their babies. Am I out of view or? Oops, I'll sit back.
No, you're good. We were getting comments, and I think Andrew's in the other room responding to them, so
Oh, okay.
that's great.
Awesome.
Somebody asked if people are allowed to come in and see dogs today, and the answer is yes.
Yes, please give us a call to schedule an appointment. Our number is 706-795-2868, and we'll be more than happy to get you scheduled and you can come in and see what we have and maybe take home a new baby today. So that's just a little bit about when we say kitten season's coming, that's what it means. We're going to have an influx of babies. Excuse me. Moms with babies, babies without moms, because a lot of times something, unfortunately, will happen to the mom. One thing that I do want to say is just because if somebody comes across some baby kittens, that doesn't mean that they've been abandoned. The mom may have left to go and search for food and just hasn't made it back yet. So my suggestion would be to just keep an eye on them and just keep watch for mom. If you don't see mom after a few hours, then maybe you want to try to maybe get them together. And if you don't know how to bottle feed, contact your local shelter. 9 times out of 10, they're going to have somebody there that can help you out. Which leads to my next point, which would be most shelters, ourselves included, love fosters, especially bottle baby fosters. And that's not something that everybody has the patience for. Myself included, I do not have the patience to bottle feed. However, I can help anybody out that wants to learn, wants to know how to do it. Those fosters are critical this time of year because a lot of times, they don't have the mamas, so they need to be on the bottle, and it's a matter of life or death when it comes to that. And this applies to puppies too, not just kittens. So I'm getting on a tangent here, so I'm gonna go back to the questions and see what questions you guys have out there.
So one question was, what is kitten season? And we've talked about that. And what does it mean for shelters?
Basically, what it means for shelters during kitten season is that shelters will become full.
How can I prevent overcrowding of shelters?
Okay. The number one thing to prevent overcrowding in shelters is to spay and neuter. That is the absolute number one thing. An adult female cat can produce, what's the number? 3,000.
In how long?
Let's just say it was a 3-year period.
In 3 years, it was 376 cats.
And that's the mom. She has 6 babies. Those 6 babies have 6 babies, and so forth and so on, into a pyramid. And so you take that into perspective, and that's all just due because one cat didn't get spayed. So that is the number one thing to combat overcrowding in shelters, is to get those animals fixed.
Somebody asked if Rain was available for adoption.
Rain is... Actually, I think he may be slated for rescue. I think I misspoke earlier to say that he was available. But I think he's actually scheduled to go up north. And
I actually just typed yes. Whoops. I don't know when to have it. What do I do if I have cats on my property?
The best thing to do is, number one, make sure that they don't belong to a neighbor. You don't want to go and take somebody's cat and just bring it up to the shelter. So if you notice it's the same cat that's coming on your property day after day, just check with your neighbors and see if it's theirs. If it's not, you can't find the owner, then if you can touch it, you contact your shelter to see if there's any missing reports. Get a good picture of it if you can. Contact local shelters, vet offices, just to make sure that they're not missing their home, that they truly are a stray cat. If it is a truly stray cat and you cannot keep it, then contact your local shelter to see the process for surrendering it to the shelter. If you are interested in keeping the cat, and you can handle it, take it to a vet office, get a scan for a microchip, see if it's fixed. If it's not fixed, get it fixed.
Is there any assistance with the cost of surgery?
Depending on your local counties, there may be financial assistance. Here in Madison and Overcrowded County, we do have a Spayed program that helps lower income families. If you qualify, you would be eligible to receive a free surgery plus a free rabies vaccine. And there's different tiers to it too. And it's called the Spayed program, so you may not be able to afford the whole amount of the surgery, but you could afford some, and you could apply that, towards your total or towards the program itself. So check with your local counties to see if there's any programs available.
And for MOAS, the application is online, or you can come in and fill one out.
Right.
What is a cat colony?
A cat colony is basically it's a group of cats that live together. It could be as few as 2 cats. It could be as large as 15 to 30. They're cats that are all associated with each other. They all get along with each other. A lot of them are going to be related, and it's just a colony that it's a pack. It's a group, and they just they stay together. Like I said, it could be just 2 cats, but most of the time, especially in rural areas such as Madison and Oglethorpe counties, you're going to see numbers upwards of 15 to 30, sometimes higher.
Melissa says hi.
Hi, Melissa.
Are there any health risks associated with cat colonies?
Good question. The number one health issue related to cat colonies is going to be upper respiratory illness, and that's sneezing, runny eyes, conjunctivitis, discharge from the nose. Because this is, without any kind of treatment, it can lead to pneumonia and even death. And a lot of times, feral cats, with them not being able to be handled, cannot be medicated properly. So you've got that to worry about. In addition to feline leukemia that can be spread, FIV that can be spread, FIP that can be spread. And so there's a lot of health diseases, associated with it, along with parasites such as coccidia, giardia, roundworms, hookworms, bookworms, that kind of thing. The main thing is that these cats are not being, they can't go to a regular vet and have their regular checkups and exams. So while somebody may be feeding and taking care of these colonies, that's great, but if there's not, then you do run the risk of spreading the feline leukemia, spreading the FIV, in addition to the parasites. And the other health risks that are associated with it are unaltered males that are fighting. And then if they fight, they wind up with wounds that can't be treated with antibiotics or abscesses, things such as that.
Jesse asked, are female feral cats ear-tipped as well if they have been spayed?
It depends on the facility, but I can tell you with our facility here, every single feral cat is ear-tipped. It doesn't matter if it's male or if it's female. There are some people who do not wish for their cats to be ear-tipped. I'm not 100% sure why. I can't answer that part of the question. Come here, babe. But ear tipping is a universal sign to let people know that a cat has been altered, has been spayed or neutered.
And what is ear tipping?
Ear tipping, come here, Ray. Okay. Oh, goodness. Ear tipping is when they will clip off, I don't know if you can see this or not, but they will take just the very tip of the ear and just cut it off, and then they'll put some quick stop on it to keep it from bleeding. They do it while they're under anesthesia so that it doesn't hurt them, and it doesn't bother them afterwards. But it's just snipping off the very tip of the ear to let people know that they've been altered.
So how do we how do we prevent a cat colony from forming?
That's a very good question. If you have neighbors who are feeding cats and letting them come in and they're not trapping them and DNRing them, you may want to talk to your neighbors and to see if there's something that you could, work on to prevent this from happening. But other than, TNR and spay and neuter, the best thing would be And I just lost my train of thought on that one. Spay and neuter is the best way to prevent a cat colony.
So if we have a feral cat colony, how do we catch them?
Traps. Here at the Madison Overcrowded Animal Shelter, we do have traps that are available for rent. We've got, a few different sizes depending on what your need is. The trap rentals are $50 to rent them, and then you get your deposit back after you return it. There are other agencies, local in the area that may have other traps available for you to rent. If they don't, Tractor Supply, places like that have a Heart Humane traps for a fairly decent price that you would be able to buy to trap them.
And I think that's, oh, wait, does anybody else have any questions? Go ahead and type it in the comments. We have a trap here, and so we can show you how to set up a trap if you have not seen how a trap is set up and what they look like. I'm just going to wait for a little bit to see if any more comments pop up. All right, I don't see any popping up. So
one thing that I do, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
One thing that I do want to point out, and it's not it's not just for us; it's for all shelters in general. COVID has hit most shelters really, really hard as far as donations. So this time of year, every animal control, every animal shelter out there, they're looking for donations. Kitten milk replacers, puppy milk replacers, nipples, puppy food, kitten food, both wet and dry, cat litter, that sort of thing. So if you're in a position to do so, please donate to your local shelter. All
right. And real quick, I was just going to show, this is what a trap looks like, in case you've never seen a live trap. This is the largest size that we have. We also have a smaller size. Is that correct, Lorah?
Yes, that is correct.
Oh, hi, Ryan.
Ryan wants to show you how to use it. Oh.
So we were just going to show you real quick how to use it. They're not going to hurt the animal in any way.
Now these are humane traps.
Rain is our lovely assistant today.
Easy peasy.
And it just stays up and you put some food in the back.
And then the animal. Hopefully you'll catch a cat, but not Rain. Well, okay. This is essentially how it works. Rain wanted to test it out and show you guys.
That's so sweet. Real quick, when should they set out a trap if they wanted to bring the animal to MOAS to get it spayed or neutered?
The first thing that they want to do is just call us to give us a heads up. If they have their own trap, if they're renting a trap, they can let us know at that time. But what we would do is get them scheduled for surgery, whether it be on Monday. We do surgeries Monday through Friday. So depending on, say, their surgery schedule is on Monday, then they should try to trap on Sunday night. So whatever your surgery schedule is, I would try to set the trap up the night before.
So what happens if it's a Friday?
If it's a Friday and you actually do catch something, just call us, let us know you caught something, and depending on if we've got the room, then we can hold it until the surgery day.
Awesome. Are there any other questions? Anything else? I'm not seeing anything pop up.
I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I know this was kind of... I'm extremely nervous, and I want to thank you guys for being patient, and hopefully this will lead to a few more little Q&A sessions in the future.
All right. Thank y'all for joining us, and we'll see you in the future.